GTR listeners, the official Gamertag Radio store is now open on TeePublic. Go to store.gamertagradio.com. That's store.gamertagradio.com. Represent us. You could buy t-shirts, hoodies, mugs, posters, stickers, and much, much more. We are planning to add more designs coming very soon to the store, but as of right now, we have a couple of designs available now, like I Love Gaming and the GTR, Gamertag Radio logo, and so on. It's pretty cool. So go right now to store.gamertagradio.com. That's store.gamertagradio.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, podcasting since 2005. You're listening to Gamertag Radio with your hosts, podcaster Hall of Famer Danny Pena, the always opinionated Paris Lilly, and from outside of the norm, Peter Toledo. This is Gamertag Radio.
This is a Gamertag Radio exclusive.
Welcome to another episode of Gamertag Radio. This is your host Danny, and joining me this week we have the whole Gamertag Radio crew, and we're getting ready for E3. Be prepared for that. Let's start out with Pete in the house. Pete, what's up, man?
Yeah, dude, it's the excitement is starting to build. It's E3. It's pre-E3 week, so like I'm usually like really low key and not super amped until we start. You know, that lead up into E3, and gotta say I'm starting to get the willies, the little butterflies in the stomach. I can't. Plus I get to see you fools, so I can't wait. Look forward to it.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun, man. And also, Paris is in the house. Paris.
Hey, good morning,
everyone.
on, man? Good morning, and yeah, I can't believe E3 is less than a week away at this point. It's crazy. I have to give a quick shout out. I was on a podcast yesterday that'll be out later this week called The Gaming Hub, and I have to apologize on air and say that I think I talked the entire time. And I felt bad because they're asking me about
took over.
They were asking me about E3 stories, right? Just over the years. And dude, I just started bringing up all the old stories, and I looked up, it was an hour. I go, oh my God, I'm so sorry I talked the whole time. But it was a lot of fun, and when it comes out, I'll definitely make sure to tweet it out so people can check it out.
So that means that you're the new host of the podcast? Oh no. But we have a special guest. He's been on our show. And here's the crazy thing. We've been trying to get him to talk about this new product that's coming out sometime next year. I've been trying to do this since last year, since 2017, man. Welcome once again from Atari, Michael Arzt, man. Michael, what's up, man?
Hey guys, how are you? I will try not to be like Paris and monopolize the show. How about I will keep my stories to a minimum, but yeah, we'll talk about some fun stuff today for sure. Thanks for having me again. Happy to be here.
First of all, congratulations to you guys. I know you guys just launched the Indiegogo campaign, crowdfunding campaign of the new console, Atari VCS. I know originally the people will know this as Atari Box, right, from last year and stuff. But it's official, Atari VCS. I tried to go to Indiegogo the day that it launched, and you guys basically crashed the website. I couldn't
we broke Indiegogo that first day. It was pretty cool. So the Atari Box project. So the Atari Box name came from Atari Box Project, and then people just started calling it Atari Box, but that was never actually the name we wanted it to have. It was in the running there for a while once it caught on, but we really there's other things out there that have box in the name, so we didn't really think that was the best way to go. Atari VCS is actually a pretty accurate description of what it is. VCS stands for, of course, Video Computer System, and it was the name of the original the 2600 before they started, putting the numbers, and the numbers got popular. But it's kind of like the when the new Beetle came back, when Volkswagen brought back the new Beetle, it was the Beetle, right? So we're going with Atari VCS. It's been pretty well received, and we're excited. But like I said, the Indiegogo thing, we knew we would do pretty well. I mean, but the fans came out, and they came out strong, and we're really excited to have a good head of steam coming out after the first day of it, which was great.
Yeah, man. Yeah, you guys reached the goal within like 10 minutes, which is cool.
Well,
I think right now you're what, 2.4 million?
Yeah. We set a low goal.
So now that you guys reached your goal, and it's now over 2.4 million now, like what's next now for the whole month of June? Because I know E3 is coming up and stuff. And what are your plans of to keep on with the buzz and spreading the word about the crowdfunding project for you guys?
Yeah, so I mean, the crowdfunding project will go on. Crowdfunding. Well, so we're really calling it a pre-sale, and that's actually one of the reasons we ended up on Indiegogo, is because they have been trying to reposition themselves as kind of a pre-sale platform. But yes, it is crowdfunding technically, but we did it more for the crowd than for the funding, which is why like the $100,000 limit was always set, because we didn't want to create the impression that this box wasn't going to move forward if we didn't make the money. What it was about was trying to get the community involved and get the community putting their ideas into it. I mean, everything about the box is, we're trying to be different and trying to really, kind of embrace the community, embrace, the history of Atari. Obviously, and the design and the name is one thing, but it's very much we've said this so many times in our press releases too. It's retro inspired, but it's not retro. It's a modern device. But retro inspired, community inspired. A lot of the things that the community has done over the last 40 years with Atari and with the Atari brand, the whole homebrew, the whole sort of people creating their own ROMs, and people just making new games for, you can go out and you can get new games for the 2600 and the 5200, which is crazy in some ways, but amazing in so many others. But the point was to create something that was open and accessible and really could embrace that creative side of the community. Independent developers, hobby developers can have just as much access to this as others. So, we're very deliberately not calling this a console, because to us, console is like Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo Switch. Those are closed ecosystems. This is a box that is designed to invite creativity, invite people to load up their own software and things like that. So to answer your question about, what's coming next, we're being very deliberate with sort of the drip through social and through press releases and through the other communication platforms. The idea is to just keep revealing a little bit more. The next thing that, if everything comes together, that we want to be able to talk about is some of our content partners, both specific studios and games, but also distribution partners and things like that. I mean, we're working with some of the best in the business, and we're very excited about that. And that's one of the things that we're very deliberate, about making sure that we're being very sort of respectful to those partners and with this drip, but at the same time, knowing that we've got a lot of really cool stuff that we're still keeping, to ourselves at the moment. So there's a lot of haters and a lot of trolls out there who, love to say that we don't know what we're doing, that we don't know how to market, that we don't know how to, that we've got nothing. And, all that stuff I'm here to say is very untrue. I mean, I think, there's a lot of people who've been in the games business and in other businesses, in entertainment and media, involved in this box. There's, engineers and software people and business people and developers, and a lot of people are, contributing to this thing. And just because we haven't told you about it doesn't mean that there's not something to say.
So when can we expect to finally, for those that have, gone into the pre-sale and have backed this, the project, when can we start looking at getting Atari VCSs in the hands of gamers and people?
Well, we're not going to be shipping till right now we're saying July 2019, so second quarter, or I guess that's technically third quarter. I mean, the hope is that we actually are under promising and over delivering. I mean, if the thing is ready in April, we'll ship it in April. But we right now we think we're safe saying, June, July, and we won't disappoint anybody. But obviously, if we can get it out earlier, we will.
Right.
But that's so it's really kind of a year from now is what we're saying. And that's the other thing. People are like, oh, you want us to, you got nothing, and it's like, well, look at history. I mean, when Bill Gates announced the Xbox at GDC, and I think it was I can't remember when did the first Xbox come out? It came out in 2001, right? So he announced
2001.
it.
So
Yeah, he announced it in like 2000 GDC, and it came out, holiday of 2001 or something like that. I hope my dates are right, but my point was they were working on it for 2 years before they told anyone about it, and then once they announced it, it was still almost it was like 19 months before the thing actually came out. It takes time to do these things. Hardware takes time, especially when you're really committed to doing it right. There's some other hardware and boxes and game consoles that have come out that have really kind of stumbled out of the gate because they kind of slapped them together and didn't do a good job. Or, we're trying to avoid all those mistakes that we've seen others make. We'd rather, take our time and get it right. It means too much to our fans. It means too much to our brand. And honestly, we could break the brand if we don't, if we do a bad job, that's bad for everybody, right? But if we take our time and get it right, that's good for everybody. So that's the objective, right?
So my question is, because you mentioned earlier that this is not a competitor to a console like the Xbox or the PlayStation or the Nintendo Switch.
Not a direct competitor.
Right. No, understood. Looking at its pricing model, it falls in line with something like an NVIDIA Shield or even Apple TV, which, they can obviously do games on a certain level. So my question to you, I'm taking this from a consumer point of view. What is the Atari going to do that I can't already do with the NVIDIA Shield or an Apple TV, as an example?
Well, for starters, the platform, it's based on a PC platform. It's an x86 AMD processor, AMD Bristol Ridge A10 processor. So it's a computer, PC based platform, unlike NVIDIA Shield, which is it's a great piece. Obviously, I mean, I have one actually, and it's a good machine. But that's an Android based platform. So the idea here is to have a platform that is based on Linux Ubuntu, that has sort of the Atari side of things and the Atari environment, but also has what we're calling a sandbox, for lack of a better. That's not the official name, but that's really what it is. So it's going to have an open sandbox that gives you access to Linux Ubuntu. So all the creators and the people who've got other software can load that up on the sandbox side of things, and put their own games, put their own content, put their own things on there. And then the third piece is sort of the bridge between the two is we're going to have a mechanism where people can contribute their games and software to us, and if they meet the parameters and they work within the Atari environment, we can add them to the storefront that we're selling, and people can partake in the whole thing and be part of the ecosystem. But so we're different in the sense that we've got this open platform. That's a big difference from us and the other consoles. In terms of horsepower, we're not trying to get anywhere near especially the higher end Xboxes and PlayStations. We're going to land much more in the Nintendo Switch neighborhood in terms of performance. So there's a lot of games that people will be very pleasantly surprised to see work very well. We can't name names and share video just yet, but there's there's a lot of publishers, both large and small, that have done really good jobs with their Linux ports, and we've tested a lot of them, and a lot of them work really well on this hardware. So I think in terms of quote unquote modern games, people will be very pleasantly surprised with the performance. I mean, there's some things that are super high, intense kind of calculations going on that may not work as well, but I think a vast majority of gamers will be very happy with what we've got and what the box is able to do. But yeah, I mean, in terms of like sort of the mainstream things that that this can do. I mean, what we're trying to do is just, in terms of playing games, streaming video, streaming other entertainment like music and things like that, adding the voice control. We're just trying to do things all within our sort of little neighborhood and hopefully make the access to some of those things easier. We're also, we've also created a box that, you guys have seen it. It's a beautiful piece of hardware. It's not quite the brick that some of the other game box makers have put out there lately. This is something that you're going to want to have out on your TV console or on your entertainment system. You're not necessarily going to be so quick to put it underneath and inside, right? Like some of the others. So that's, part of it. And actually, to activate the voice commands and things like that, unless you have an external mic attached, which will work, you're going to want to have it out anyway. But that's the last piece of it as well is, the PC architecture also lets it work with any existing, PC compatible Bluetooth or USB peripherals. So, one of the things that people aren't understanding is like, why are you selling a basic box, the most basic version of the Atari VCS without any controllers? And it's because a lot of people have controllers already. So we're trying to say, guys, you don't have to buy ours. We'd love for you to buy ours. We think we've made some really cool ones,
Right.
but if you've got controllers, Linux Ubuntu already works with Xbox controllers and PC controllers. So if you've got that stuff already, plus also mice and keyboard, if you've got all that stuff already, we're not going to force you to buy more. We're hoping that you will because you want the matching stuff, or when the time comes to replace or upgrade, you'll go with one of ours. But same token, if you like our controller and you just think it's cool, or if you're playing, if you're playing games on your existing system, our stuff is universal. It'll work. You just want a cool Atari controller, right? To work with your computer, you can do that too. So, everything's about sort of, open and openness.
So another question on that. Actually, I have two, but I want to jump on the technical side of it. So you keep mentioning that the operating system under hood is going to be Ubuntu. So is this going to be a forked version of Ubuntu that Atari specifically is going to manage and control as far as updates and things that nature is going to come out? Because again, my concern is you're saying this is going to be more of a PC type platform, which is great. I'm all for that. I'm trying to put my consumer hat on and think that way. As far as support goes down the road for updates and everything, Atari specifically is going to be managing that. It's not going to be up to the consumer to make sure that their Atari box continues to be updated in the Ubuntu strain of it. As far as the operating system goes, this will be something custom specifically coming from Atari.
Okay, yeah. So I'm going to be really careful when I answer the question because I'm not a technical guy. But here's how I understand it. And so if there's any gaps in my understanding, forgive me, or in my explanation, forgive me. So the way it's been explained to me over and over again, and the way the software guys talk about it is, so basically for the Atari side of things, they will strip out a lot of the non-essential things that you don't need for Ubuntu, and you don't need for game. It's going to be stripped down to like sort of what you need for gaming, what you need for content and media streaming, what you need for the stuff that you're going to do in the quote unquote Atari environment, right? And then we'll have an overlay and our own store and all that stuff. The way the sandbox piece of it works is think of it like how Xbox does backwards compatibility. Like if you're on your Xbox One and then you want to play an Xbox 360 game, it actually takes you out of that Xbox One environment and puts you into that Xbox 360 emulator, so that it's kind of like separate, right? The way the guys are designing this Atari world is that it will take you out of that and put you into this open Ubuntu world where, if you know your way around Ubuntu, it should be pretty familiar. If you're not, there's going to be a lot of consumers that buy this thing that never go into that side of it, right? I mean, this is really for the tinkerers and the hobbyists. But the one thing that we don't want to happen is for people to be able to brick the Atari part of it. So that, right. So that's that's the part they're very much working on keeping separate so that you can't like corrupt the Atari side. So in terms of updates and things like that, when you're connected, just like any of the other boxes, it will say, hey, there's an update, here it is, and it'll push the update to you, if you're I guess you accept, or however the interface will work. But there's an update available. Do you want it? It's just like your phone or your current console, right? And it'll update that, and I guess it will also make sure that it's updating whatever it needs to from the Linux side of things, in addition to whatever our side is. But more technical than that, I don't want to even attempt to get, because the guys who are doing the software side, who we can't say yet, but when we do say it, it's a team and a leader that has done this before console. And, people will be very pleased to hear who it is when the time comes. But when the time comes, that's the guy that we're going to want you to ask all these questions of, really, because he'll be able to answer them really well. If we let him out of the laboratory to do interviews and stuff. But
no, understood. Completely understand that. I appreciate it. So just a second question. I'll be quiet since I tend to talk too much on these things. Again, looking at it from a consumer, looking at it from my point of view, for me, if to go pick this up, here's the checklist of things that I would like to see on this box. Like you mentioned, streaming support. So I would want the familiar services there. I want to see a Netflix. I'm going to want to see an Amazon. I'm going to want to see a Hulu. I'm going to want to see native 4K support for it, maybe even potentially HDR support for it. From a gaming standpoint, I would love to see some type of partnership with Valve so that Steam Link can be native on this box. So not only, like you mentioned, you're not trying to compete with the big console guys when it comes to power, but if I already have a high-end PC in my home, I can basically stream those games from that PC to the Atari box in my living room. You've already checked the box as far as I can bring whatever controller support to the party that I want to bring via Bluetooth or USB, which is great. And then, like you said, Atari's going to have their own internal store. So I want to see, like you said, the publishers are coming. So I want to see those, indie titles, that we've normally seen on a console or a PC come to this box natively, so that I don't have to depend on another PC or another platform to be able to bring them in. I can natively get those from the store. And then obviously touch on that nostalgia factor of Atari. I mean, I don't know what contracts they have to be signed and, T's crossed and I's dotted, but bring some of those classic Atari games from the late 70s and early 80s, obviously, to be a part of this as well, to kind of put a nice bow on it. I think price wise, you're exactly where you need to be, which is why I brought up those other products, because it fits into that slot. And those products kind of sort of already do the things that I explained right now, but Atari has the advantage of you can do even more, and you can have more native games as a part of what you're trying to do. So again, I think the potential is definitely there. And like you said, I know you can't talk about the partnerships that you have already, but when you guys are ready to talk about that, I'll be very excited to hear, because like I said, I think there's a great potential with this box.
Yeah. No, and a lot of what you said you'd like to see is the stuff that we're planning to show. So I think, the thing that is interesting, though, so because it's a PC, a lot of there's kind of a two-pronged thing, right? So one, let's use an example. Let's use Twitch or Netflix as an example, right? They create native apps for different environments, right? So that their service works on it. The reality is that all of those guys will create a native app for a certain environment based on footprint, install base, things like that. So for us, part of our challenge is to prove that we have an install base, right, and that so that Twitch will say, "Oh yeah, I'll make a Twitch app for the Atari VCS." We've been talking to Twitch. They're interested, but we have to show them that before we'll get them over that certain hump. The good news is that because it's a PC, and any of those guys like Twitch or Netflix or Hulu or any of these guys, they all have browser support for those apps. No matter what, because it's a PC, you will be able to watch your Netflix or watch your Twitch through the browser just because it's a computer. So when those specific apps will come online is, certainly dependent upon conversations and negotiations between the business sides of things, and obviously, like I said, showing people that that there is interest, that there is a footprint that justifies the expense, because they've got to, Twitch, Netflix, whoever it is, they've got to take engineers and put them on the job, and they've got other jobs to do too. So, I think a lot of that stuff is all going to come, just like any new console. The Xbox One launched with like 6 or 8 titles, and now there's however many thousands, right? And same thing with any box. And I don't know why I'm using Xbox as an example, but they are, right. So when you launch, let's use Switch. They basically launched with Zelda. They launched with a great game. That was very much a Nintendo game, and now people are, starting to develop for it. People are starting to port to it. We hope and expect to see a lot of that happen as well. In terms of the Atari roots, we have already announced that every Atari VCS, just as a nod to nostalgia, we're putting the Atari Vault on there, which is over 100 games from the arcade and 2600 archives. So that's just going to get people started. But we are in the process of working with publishers and working with development studios, updating games. So Tempest 4000 is the most recent one. It's coming out for the other consoles. There's going to be a version of it for our console, of course, because it's our game. But we've got other things coming as well. I mean, we've definitely been very proactively taking our established franchises and finding ways to update them in new and creative ways. And believe me, there's a lot of studios that come to us with, "Hey, I've got an idea for air sea battle. I've got an idea for adventure. I've got an idea for this one or that one." And we listen, and obviously there's a lot you can do with some of these classic games. You can update the games and have them be very similar to what they once were, like Tempest, or you can have somebody come in and completely reinvent something. And we're okay with either sort of creative decision, but obviously the idea is to mine some of what we've done, but also obviously get that third party developer support, and that's how you build. The third sort of killer app for us, though, is definitely the community and homebrew side of things. So for us, it's things that we can do with Atari, things that third party support will come in, and then sort of the fourth party, which is the community, right?
Well, I have 2 things to say
Sure.
about this. So one is like the thing that I liked about Ouya and Steambox is that I discovered a lot of indie games that they were popular for the system, and then eventually it came out for the newer consoles, right? But there was some cool gems under both systems. A lot of people might compare this to the Ouya crowdfunding campaign, right? Or like I know you mentioned a lot about Linux. People also going to compare this to Steambox. Besides the game stuff, both of those consoles, it created a big buzz, especially Ouya. I think they raised like $8 million or something. I can't remember exactly. This is a tough
I don't remember exactly.
But people are going to compare to those both systems. What makes this different, and what was like the mistakes that you guys don't want to do that you learned from those 2 consoles?
Well, again, certainly not going to focus too much on the word mistakes and things that other people have done. I mean, we're trying to cut our own path here, obviously, but obviously trying to learn from other people's experiences, both good and bad. I think the thing about the Steam box is a lot of them were pretty expensive, and people who were sort of gravitating towards that, a lot of them already have sort of high-end gaming PCs. So why am I going to buy $1,000 Steam box if I've already got a $6,000 rig, right? So there's some of that there, and obviously, I'm generalizing. In terms of the Ouya, I think for us, to us, sort of that Android side of things, taking games that were really meant to be on a tablet or a phone, and trying to put them on a big television, that's something that we want to avoid as well. So I think, the other thing about it is that, the difference between Ouya and Atari is, a lot of it is about brand too, and about, sort of having a brand that sort of opens doors, right, and gets the return phone calls, but by the same token, a brand that has a lot of responsibility to its heritage and to its fans. There's a lot of naysayers and a lot of trolls out there who love to pick on us because we're not the same Atari that that Bushnell and Dabney created 40 years ago. But how could we be, right? I mean, even if it was still the same lineage, those guys would not be involved anymore, right? Although I will say that Nolan has seen this, and Nolan and our CEO Fred talk pretty regularly, about once a month, and Nolan really likes what we're doing here. So, and hopefully we can, coax him into saying some more things publicly about it. And I think he very well may, which is great. But the reality is that we're trying to do some things that are different. We're trying to do things that make sense for Atari today. And while on the one hand, we want to absolutely, cater to the fans that we already have, we also want to create something that's much more mass and much more open, for that invites new fans, which is part of the reason it goes back to why we chose Indiegogo. I mean, Indiegogo gets us to an audience that is a little bit younger, a little bit more sort of early adopter than the traditional Atari audience. So if you look at the Atari audience, it's very broad, it's very mainstream. But everybody over age 35 is remembers it one way, and everybody under age 35 either doesn't know who it is or thinks of it as sort of like their dad's brand. And we're trying to create an Atari that is relevant for both audiences going forward, not just the classic audience. So a lot of the things that we're doing is really we're all fans, right? We're all huge Atari fans. We're all gamers. A lot of people involved in this have been in the industry, either the gaming industry or the entertainment industry or electronics, consumer electronics for a long time. And everybody really is sort of treating this as really precious and really something that needs to be done right. And that's sort of the theme of it all. So, I mean, if I compare compare our project to other projects, I think, the main thing that I would say, the biggest thing that is important to us, and this is not to say that those other guys didn't put all the care into it, but for us, it's all about just doing it right, taking our time, listening, which is the other part of the reason we did this crowdfunding platform is, you get a lot of feedback, you get a lot of ideas. I mean, there's a lot of things that, we've been thinking before we even went public with all this that are coming out in the communication through Indiegogo that we're saying, yep, we were thinking about that. Looks like a lot of you guys, agree with us. And, all this stuff is getting passed on to the engineers and the developers and people who are, working on the project. And, it's also one of these things that's going to evolve. I mean, where it is on day one versus where it is on day 101 and day 1001, we hope it's a living, breathing device. From a standpoint of, the other guys, I mean, I think the single biggest difference is I hope we're successful or more successful at what we want to be. This doesn't have to be quote unquote better than a Steam box or better than Ouya. It just has to be the best Atari VCS it can be, right? That's what we're trying to do. So kind of a long-winded answer with a lot of, sort of forward-leaning and forward-thinking, but that's really what we're trying to do, is trying to do the best thing for our fans, so that we get the longest life out of this, and so that one day there's an Atari VCS 2 and an Atari VCS 3, and everything that we do at Atari now, today's Atari, is really carefully selected and carefully chosen. And, I mean, again, we have a lot of, quote unquote fans that love to sort of pick on us because they think we're slapping our name on everything. But I can tell you right now, I mean, there's a lot more stuff that gets turned down. I see it come into the office, a lot more stuff that gets turned down and, thanks, but no thanks, than is accepted. And even, things like the licensing program, which is a huge, huge part of how the company generates revenue. They've been a lot more selective and not renewed things or even canceled things that they were not happy with. I've seen all that in the 14 months that I've been with the company. So, there's definitely a plan. And, again, like I said, I'm sorry we're not the original Atari. I'm sorry, guys, but, we're trying to be the best Atari we can be.
Send us your feedback or questions. Give us a call at 786-273-7GTR. Email us at fanmail@gamertagradio.com or leave a message on speakpipe.com/gamertagradio.
And once again, I want to thank our sponsor, Keeps. Keeps is designed for guys who want to stop hair loss with their scientific and affordable approach managed entirely on Keeps.com. Keeps is the easiest way to stop hair loss before it's too late. Now, getting started with Keeps is super easy. It takes less than 5 minutes to sign up. Just answer a few questions and snap some photos and you're on your way. I did it. You guys know I'm follically challenged. I went through the whole process. Super easy to do. It didn't even take 5 minutes. It was less than that. It was great. They have a licensed doctor who remotely reviews your information and recommends the right treatment for you, all without having to leave your couch. Keeps offers generic versions of the only 2 FDA-approved hair loss products out there. Some of you have probably tried them before, but you've never gotten them at this easy of a price. Keeps is only $10 to $35 a month, plus now you can get your first month free. It's a great deal for getting to keep most of the hair that you already have and maybe grow back a little more. There's no reason to put this off any longer. Stop hair loss today. The easy way is Keeps. So, does it work? Yes. Like they said before, it is 2 FDA products, clinically proven to work. There's no BS to it. It's just science. It's like I said, it's the generic versions of some products that are already out there, but it's way cheaper to do it through Keeps. Yes, it's completely safe. There's no issues with it. Like I said, I am a user of it myself. It works on the hair that you already have, so you don't lose it. That's the whole point of this. And in some cases, it may even grow some back, some brand new hair as well. That's the whole point of Keeps. So again, go to keeps.com/GTR, get that first free month of treatment. Again, it's keeps.com/GTR. Keeps, hair today and hair tomorrow.
You're listening to Gamertag Radio.
Yeah, I know. I'm glad that you guys are iterating upon it. I think it's a fantastic original franchise, one that certainly deserves getting the reboot, especially in 2018. We see everything else getting rebooted. Why not one of the originators in this space?
Television, right? They're trying to. I was shocked by that.
Exactly. I didn't want to bring that up. Obviously, they're the competitor. We're not talking about them, but
Intellivision made a lot of cartridges that I really enjoyed so maybe we should talk to them about joining forces. I don't know.
There you go. Pickaxe Pete, honestly, and aside from the fact that my name is obviously in the title, but Pickaxe Pete was one of my favorite titles on that platform back in the day.
I remember some of the sports games that they had were like really a cut above even what Atari had. I just remember that. But whatever. Let's see what happens, right?
Yeah, fantastic.
Cool. So a lot of energy for sort of the classic stuff.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't know what exactly they have planned, but they seem to be a little bit more retro than we are. Like I said, we keep saying we're retro inspired, not retro. Let's see what they do. I mean, I think there's certainly seems to be interest for all.
100%. Sticking in the future or the current, I know from going through the Indiegogo page, there's a couple of things that I wanted to talk about. One of them being more on the technical side. I noticed that it does say it's got an HDMI output. Are you guys going to be doing 1080 or even potentially 4K coming out of the Atari VCS?
Yeah, it's going to be dependent upon the source content, but yes,
Okay.
there will be support for 4K and 60 frames per second. Yeah.
Ooh. There
Yeah.
you go. Wow, that's actually really dope. I was not expecting a 4K 60 experience coming out of it. So, shout out to you guys for doing that. Another thing that I mentioned that I wanted to talk about was I notice that there's going to be Discord integration for game chat. Obviously, we're talking now with Discord. Discord's had an amazing run over the last 12 to 18 months with the way it's exploded. Just for regular day to day. I know a lot of people, most of the usage is video game inspired or video game based, but there's a lot of other things that you can do. Obviously we do our Twitch streams with it and so on and so forth. Twitch being another app that I noticed that's on there, and you guys have been talking, a lot with them. They're in your your teaser video from the 30th this month. Anything else you guys want to talk about? Anything else you guys want to talk about with regards to app integration and things like that?
Yeah, what you're touching on though, Pete, is like some of the stuff I was saying earlier when I was responding earlier about sort of apps and things. So, again, Discord will work out of the box because it's got a browser-based support to begin with, right? So It's going to work. In terms of working with them on a specific Discord app, so like I'm on my Windows laptop with you right now, I could have either stayed in the browser or I could use, the app, I guess. But yeah, I mean, that kind of stuff, what we were doing is sort of giving examples of things you'll be able to use right out of the box. And then most of it is because it's a PC. So we're basically saying, we're as Fred, our CEO, likes to say, we're bringing, the best of the PC entertainment experience to our box and to your TV. That's why, we know Discord will work because it works out of the box on a browser.
We need to wrap it up very quick, but
Sure.
Paris, any last questions, Paris?
No,
we could.
No, I'm good.
All right. Well, Michael, I know we're gonna see you during E3 and stuff. Any hints you want to say before we wrap it up?
Well, look. So as far as E3 goes, so we deliberately made a decision not to do a big presentation about Atari VCS, mostly because there's only a few times a year where the whole games business is together. We in good faith we took out some of our early engineering models and put them out there at GDC, and and a lot of people just because they either don't get it or they don't want to get it. They didn't, they said, oh, they put plastic box out there. Yes, we told you this was going to be an engineering model, guys. That's what we did. So we're not going to do that again because honestly, for us, there's a couple of announcements that if the ink gets, if the signatures get done in time, we will make that week or just before. But if not, we're okay with that because we're going to spend most of our time there talking to, we'll do press and things like that and talk to guys like yourselves. But we also want to spend a lot of time talking to the studios and the developers that we're, in discussions with getting on board. There's just a tremendous amount of opportunity. And obviously we got a lot of momentum coming out of the successful launch on Indiegogo. So, there was a strategy to timing it when we did. We wanted to have, sort of 2 weeks of success under our belt so that when we sat down with people next week, it's next week, we'll have a track record and we'll be able to say, look, people are into this thing. People are interested, thanks for being interested, but let's get something done so we can tell people. And again, once we get the deals done, then we can add it to that drip, drip, drip I was talking about earlier. And, so between now and launch, you're just going to keep hearing new things, whether it's about content, whether it's about distribution, whether it's about, different partners that will be developing things, new titles, new games, new third-party support. That's all the kind of stuff, or new updates to the hardware. I mean, there's things that we're doing with the peripherals that we haven't shared yet. So there's going to be a lot to share, over the next, 10, 11, 12 months.
Well, Michael, I just want to say thanks for being on.
Thanks, guys. Always good talking.
You always been open to talk to us, man, about the project, different projects and stuff. So, but yeah, definitely see you at E3, man. Can't wait to see what you guys have planned
Look forward to seeing you guys. Sounds good.
Yeah, good luck with everything, man.
Thanks, guys.
Yep, thank you.
All right, I hope you guys enjoyed that interview with Michael from Atari. It was a great conversation all about Atari VCS exclusively here on Gamertag Radio. You're not going to find it anywhere else, only here on Gamertag Radio. By the way, we have a second sponsor here for this episode of Gamertag Radio. And I have something very special to show you because I played last week on our podcast. Audio Boom sent this to us for our listeners. It's a brand new show called Covert. This takes listeners inside the most dangerous military operation of all time. Audio Boom was kind enough to share a clip of this podcast for Gamertag Radio listeners, and I think you will love it. Check out this clip of Covert's first episode, The Killing of Osama bin Laden. And look for new episodes every Tuesday. Enjoy.
September 11th, 2001, 6 a.m., Portland, Maine. 5 men, secretly armed with knives, prepare to board a plane to Los Angeles via Boston. Their flight attendant that day, Betty Ann Ong, is especially excited about the trip. After she lands in L.A., she'll be meeting with her sister to plan a Hawaiian vacation. 8:13 a.m. An air traffic controller at the FAA's Boston Center directs the flight to turn 20 degrees right. The pilot acknowledges the order. But as the controller sends more instructions, there is nothing but radio silence. 8:19 a.m. Air traffic control receives a call. It's flight attendant Betty Ann Ong. She, too, cannot contact the cockpit, and she is now hiding in the back of the plane.
Cockpit's not answering. Somebody's stabbed in business class. And I think there's mates that we can't breathe. I don't know. I think we're getting hijacked. Which flight are you on? Flight 12. And what seat are you at? Ma'am, are you there?
Carrying dozens of men, women, and children, Betty's flight has been hijacked by terrorists who have diverted the plane towards New York City. Meanwhile, CIA analyst Mike Scheuer is at home, watching the tragedy unfold on television. He immediately knows who is responsible. The person he was in charge of finding not long ago. A little-known Saudi terrorist named Osama bin Laden.
When those planes hit on 9/11, we had known they were going to do that, not that specific day or that specific target, but that medium of operation. They intended to do that since at least 1995.
And it wouldn't be until 2011 that the hunt for the world's most wanted man was finally brought to an end. This is The Killing of Osama bin Laden, Part 1. From Audio Boom and World Media Rights, this is Covert, a podcast about the shadowy world of international espionage and top-secret military operations. I'm Jamie Rennell, and I'm going to take you on a deep dive into history's greatest classified missions to learn about the brave soldiers, government agents, and law enforcement personnel who risked their lives to terminate the world's most wanted, eliminate terrorist threats, and protect the lives of countless innocent people. In this first episode, we'll trace the origins of Osama bin Laden and the people who were tasked to find him. Who was this man? When did he first get the CIA's attention? And what led up to his masterminding of 9/11? We'll start with the first attack on the Twin Towers, 8 years earlier. February 26, 1993. A yellow van pulls into the subterranean parking garage beneath the Vista Hotel in Lower Manhattan. Several men jump out and unravel 4 20-foot-long pieces of fuse wire. They ignite the fuses, pile into the car that was following them, and speed off. At 12:17 p.m., the truck explodes, carving a 100-foot crater through 4 levels of the World Trade Center tower above.
All right, let us know what you think. Honestly, once I heard that trailer, it got my attention big time, and I subscribe already on my podcast. So yes, every Tuesday, brand new episodes of Covert. Make sure to search for Covert now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcast destination.
This is Gamertag Radio. Voicemail at 786-2737-GTR.
All right, so we're back here, Gamer Tag Radio. And Paris, I know you sent us a couple of topics before we go to our E3 predictions for this episode. Let's go for it, man. What is it that you would like to talk about before we go to the predictions?
Since I'm the resident Destiny fan, I guess we'll start off with that one. Bungie specifically. Bungie, it was announced this week that they received $100 million investment from China's NetEase, which is they're basically a gaming like a gaming publisher in China. They do a lot of mobile and web stuff, but they've invested $100 million into Bungie, and it's come out that Bungie is going to use that investment to start making IPs outside of Destiny. So, like, in other words, 'cause I think Jason Schreier from Kotaku even kind of confirmed this, that they've already been at work on a second IP to go parallel with Destiny. But the interesting thing that came out of this is Pete Parsons, who's the CEO of Bungie, mentioned that they want to move into self-publishing in the future and not rely on Activision or anyone else. So basically what this is saying is, yeah, Destiny's going to continue. That partnership with Activision is going to continue just fine. But whatever this other game's going to be, Bungie's going to self-publish it, which I think is a very interesting move and could really shake up the future that we see with a lot of these quote unquote AAA developers. If they have the means to just put out games themselves, why are they relying on an Activision or a Microsoft or 2K or whoever, EA, whatever the case may be? Just put out the game and put it out when you want to put it out at the price that you want to put it out as. I think this is very interesting, just moving forward. Just looking ahead to the future. There's probably nothing that's going to happen anytime soon, but it'll be very interesting to see what this IP is going to be from Bungie and what their business model is going to be for it as far as publishing and marketing goes.
Yeah, very interesting announcement. Nobody was expecting this at all, man. And yeah, like you said too, they've been working this for a while now, man. So do you think that's going to affect Destiny overall? Not really.
No, well, of course they're going to come out and immediately go, nope, this has nothing to do with Destiny. Destiny's fine. This is great. We'll keep doing what we're doing. I don't think it will, because again, Activision is their partner in this, and let's be real, Activision ain't going to let nothing happen to Destiny, because obviously it's making a lot of money for them. So no, I think Destiny as its own standalone game is going to be fine. But again, I've just been a fan of Bungie, the studio, obviously since Halo CE. So I'll be very curious to see what their new IP is going to be. And like I said, I'm not expecting it anytime soon. So we'll probably be well into the next Xbox and PlayStation 5 before we hear anything else about it.
Yeah, definitely. Any other topics from the list, Paris?
Fallout 76 and just my own commentary on that. So Bethesda obviously teased out that Fallout 76 is coming, and are going to talk about it more at E3. And the interesting thing about it is it's looking like, and again, Jason Schreier from Kotaku got the scoop on this and actually knew about it before Bethesda originally announced it. But it looks like it's going to have some quote unquote online / co-op components to it. And it's being compared to DayZ and Rust as a model. It looks like it's going to be kind of a survivor mode type of game with some building aspects to it as well. Personally, I'm excited for this because I've been playing single player Fallout since 2008 with Fallout 3. That was my first exposure to the Fallout franchise. Absolutely adored New Vegas. Fallout 4 didn't grab me as much as Fallout 3 and New Vegas, but I think Fallout 76, like, just take the scenario of the three of us being able to go play Fallout together. And this is going to take place, I think, 200 years before, allegedly rumored, if you go through the history of Vault 76 and when people actually were able to get out. So this will have nothing to do potentially with, Fallout 3 or Fallout 4 or even New Vegas. This will be kind of a prequel, but I'm excited for a survivor mode in the Wasteland. I think it's perfectly tailored to support this. And as long as, I almost said Valve, as long as Bethesda brings their own unique take to it and it's fun, why not? Because people instantly got outraged. This isn't my Fallout. I'm not buying it. This is crap. And again, this goes right back to what we were saying about Black Ops 4 a few weeks ago. You've not seen or played the game yet, so how do you know you're not going to like it? Wait until they actually officially unveil it, and then let's see. Let's see what it is. But in today's gaming, look, single-player games will always have a place in my heart, and I love single-player games, but I also love cooperative games as well. So if they can bring cooperative gameplay to the Fallout universe in its own standalone game, why not? You can get your single player Fallout again when Fallout 5 comes out. I'd rather Bethesda try this and take a risk than to just keep pumping out the same Fallout game every year in a different location, but the mechanics all stay the same. Let's see what this is before we actually start condemning it. I'm personally excited.
Are you glad to hear that they went with the Fallout route as opposed to what a lot of the internet was thinking, which was something along the lines of Elder Scrolls / Skyrim?
Yeah, of course. This is my point. If you're going to do a survivor mode co-op game, the Fallout universe is perfect for it. I mean, think about how many times you were playing Fallout 3 or New Vegas or Fallout 4 and you'd have your companion with you. Wouldn't it be awesome if that companion was Danny? And then when he dies, you can yell at him? It would be great.
Why it has to be that way? Why it has to be that way? You're like, well, and just leave me there.
Yeah.
But here's I really don't understand. Like, they announced the game, and online they were talking like this could be an online cooperative game, and there was gamers mad. I don't get it. I'm excited that it's something new. It's something different. I would like to. I need to see what it is first. Of course, I can't be all hype, but it's good to see new things, man. Sometimes it could be a huge success. Sometimes it could be a failure. But at least it's something new, and they're trying new things, right?
Well,
so
you have to think about it when you have franchises as adored by fans, as a Fallout, as Skyrim and things like that. When things start to go south from what you expect or want, and I don't say south in the vein of it's going bad. It's just if it goes in a different direction with which your expectations or desires go, some people may get their feelings hurt, and that's not what they wanted to see or want to see from their franchise. So there's always going to be, I guess, a modicum of disappointment with people. It is what it is. And in this regard, it's not that bad. It caught me off guard. I wouldn't say I was butthurt about it, but I didn't, it was outside of the box. It was different from what my expectations was. And you know what? That's a good thing, right? Because I was thinking it was going to go in one direction. It made the left turn at Albuquerque, like Bugs Bunny used to say. And I'm cool with it. Let's see what it does before we start to naysay it. Let's see gameplay. Obviously, we know Bethesda doesn't launch stuff unless it's ready to go. Considering they announced it, it means it must be good to go, or very, very soon. So, in an age of being quick to shoot things down, Bethesda has a pretty damn good track record. So let's give them the opportunity to show what they've done, and then we make our opinions and so on and so forth.
I'm very curious to see how they're going to handle the VAT system, because obviously that is tailor-made for a single-player experience, and that has been a key component of these Fallout games. You can't do it if it's a cooperative online game, so that'll be a change. But again, take the risk. I'd rather them take the risk than I look at it this way. Like I said, I've been playing Fallout 3, New Vegas, and Fallout 4 since 2008. Played damn near all the DLCs in between. I know that universe backwards and forwards. So I know how the gameplay style works. Do I really need a Fallout 5 or like I joked on Twitter before it was announced, a Fallout New Chicago that just keeps doing the same damn thing? I'd rather them try something outside the box, because if I'm really feeling that nostalgic, because that's the funny thing, You know what most people were asking for when Bethesda originally started teasing something with Fallout, because it was the whole "please stand by," you know, and the Fallout Boy was there, or Pit Boy, whatever his name is. But everyone kept saying, "Oh, they're going to do a Fallout 3 remake," and everyone was all excited for a Fallout 3 remake. And in my head, I'm like, I don't need that.
Why?
I don't need that. I'm good.
Exactly.
I'd rather have something different.
It was the 10-year anniversary, and that's why people had that expectation.
I don't care though. I don't want that. That's my point.
Or they could do they could do something even better. Pre-order the game and you get the special.
I bet you know what? I bet you that happens. I bet you that happens. Yeah. Like I could really see them partnering with Xbox and saying, "Oh yeah, you know that Fallout 3 disc that you got sitting over there? Oh, we've just enhanced it 4K, blah 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 blah." The whole thing. I could totally see them doing something like that, which is great. But back to my point of what I was saying is, sure, everyone was super excited that, oh, it may be just a remake of Fallout 3. But then when you find out, hey, they're actually going to do something new in the Fallout universe, it's most likely a prequel, and it's going to follow up the whole lore of Vault 76, which if people don't know about Vault 76, that was the experimental vault that opened early versus everyone else. So we're going to be one of the original people to come out of the Fallout shelter and back into the wasteland. So that's kind of, and like I said, if they're going to take that building component from Fallout 4, throw that in there, we can all work together, building new structures, building new things. Obviously, the whole survival mode that comes with it of fighting off all these creatures, because there was even a thing of people were talking about, oh, the super mutants won't be in here. But technically, the super mutants can be in here because one of the vaults opened early as well that released the super mutants into the world, but they're the dumb ones. They're not the highly intelligent West Coast ones. So there's so much potential of what they can do with it. And I'm excited to see the direction that they're going to go with it. That's all I'm saying. Look, it could be a colossal disaster. I don't know. But I'd rather wait and see what it's going to be before I'm going to sit here and be up in arms because it has an online component to it. I think there's a lot of potential with that online component.
Definitely. So let's go straight to the E3 predictions because, we're running out of time and stuff here. So this time we're going to talk about
Pause. One thing. I have to say one thing because I know we're going.
Okay.
Just real quick.
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed Odyssey, it got leaked. They obviously announced it now officially. I'm excited and worried at the same time. I'm excited because I love what they did with Origins by taking that break and they got it right. That game is the closest thing to The Witcher 3 that we've seen, in this console generation. If this is this year, it's too quick. It's just too quick. I'd rather them take Assassin's Creed to a 2-year model, at least, if not 3 years, to be honest with you. But this every year Assassin's Creed, I'm skeptical. I'll just put it that way. I'm excited and skeptical at the same time because I just hope it's not just a reskin of Origins set in Greece. I'd rather them do something different with it. But go back to the same concept. We'll see when it's officially announced, at the Ubisoft press conference and they talk about it more. And, I'm sure we'll get some hands-on time with it at E3.
Now, my question to you before we go to the prediction: what if this is an expansion pack? Is that okay for Origins?
They wouldn't call it Odyssey then. I think they'd be a lot more specific of saying that that's what it is.
Yeah, it would have been Assassin's Creed Origins X.
Yeah.
Okay, that's true. Yeah, just in case. What if? What if? All right, so let's go with Miss Leo predictions.
Hey, darling, this is certified psychic Miss Leo. Now, I can usually tell you things about the future by using the power of my tarot cards. But when it comes to video games, only the guys at Gamertag Radio can give you the E3 predictions. Ya hear me?
All right, so this time we are going to be talking about our predictions for Xbox, which to me is the most interesting one because as of right now, they're the ones that have the least leaks out of all the companies, and nobody really knows what the hell's going on with them and what type of
there's nothing to leak, right?
hard to leak inventory when inventory is your issue.
But here's the thing, though, guys. Here's the thing: this is a good thing.
It is
that there's no leaks. that could be a 2-hour presentation.
No, it's
compared to previous
this
years
is good.
in 90 minutes.
Yeah, trust me. They have. Look, what's the meme from Django Unchained with what's his face, DiCaprio? He's like, you had my curiosity, but now you have my attention. That's where I am. That's where I am right now with Xbox, because I'm so curious what they have to show and how they're going to do it. So they have my full attention. It is easily my most anticipated press conference of this E3 because, like you said, nothing's leaked. It is the absolute great unknown from them. We just don't know what they're going to show. So I'm very excited to see.
So who would like to start first?
I'll launch into this one immediately.
All right, go for it.
There's not much to say at this point.
Not much to say. You're out of your mind.
Well, I got a lot to say.
Okay.
Exactly.
Well, in the vein of titles, I only have 3. I've been trying to rack my brain. I just can't come up and think of anything. Obviously, the known Crackdown 3. We're going to see something Crackdown 3. There's no way possibly that they're not going to show Crackdown 3. I know that they pushed back the date. I know they pushed back the date.
Keep on dreaming.
But they're going to show. Let me dream. But they're going to show Crackdown 3 something. What we're going to see that we weren't expecting, Gears of War 5. We all saw the Walmart Canada ad. I don't think that was a mistake. I think that was a slip. So I think we're going to see Gears of War 5. And the one that we haven't seen is going to be Below from Capybara Games.
That's a good one.
Is that it?
That's it.
That's all you got?
Wow.
Okay.
Wow, Pete.
Okay.
If that's let me tell you, if that's Microsoft press conference, is a complete failure, man.
Hey, Satya Nadella's gonna come out on stage and he's gonna grab Phil and he's gonna publicly fire him. He's like, right.
No, he's gonna do the Randy Orton move on stage.
I don't know if I want to say Halo because I don't know if they're going to drop a Halo. I mean, they're going to give a little bit.
Can I jump in? Then?
Go for it.
Well, I will. Damn it, I will say Halo because there's no way in hell they are not going to have a Halo on that stage at E3. But here's how I think the show starts. Personally, I'm going to stick with it. I think the 3 lights go.
Yep, exactly.
Sam Fisher.
Exactly, yes.
They're going to kick the show off with Sam Fisher because it's a third party. Yes, it'll show up on PlayStation. Blah blah blah. But Sam Fisher has always been associated with Xbox. They're going to open a show with that. They're going to say, "Yep, Sam Fisher's coming back." Like I've said previously, I think they take those original Xbox games. That's part of the whole backwards compatibility. They're going to enhance them, the 4K, all that. I think that's going to be a part of their package of the way they're going to sell the new Splinter Cell to us. That not only we're giving you a new Splinter Cell game, here's some exclusive stuff you can only get on Xbox through the old games, enhancements, all that. I think that's what they're going to do with that. Yes, Halo 6 will have an appearance at this press conference. There's no way they don't do that. They have to. Even if it doesn't come out until holiday 2019, they have to at least tease us with it, show Chief, Cortana, let us know that this Halo will be focused on the 2 characters that you actually care about in this universe, which is Chief and Cortana, and not Luke Cage and the rest of the crew. Nobody cared about that. You know, it's been rumored that not only is Gears 5 coming, but they're going to have multiple Gears games. I think that's legit. I think they'll have something Gears related that's smaller that will come out this year. I'm going to say that there will be a Gears of War IP that drops this year, not Gears of War 5 proper, but of basically a slice of something different in that universe that they're going to do. I think that actually is smart for them to do, because let's expand the Gears universe beyond just, you know, the third person behind the shoulder view that we've known. They could do something else in this universe. So I'll be curious to see what that is. And damn it, Danny, I'm going Miss Leo. I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna channel your Battletoads obsession, and mine is going to be we getting Banjo-Kazooie. They're gonna show Banjo-Kazooie. We getting not coming this year, but damn it, they're gonna announce it and say that Banjo's coming, and I'm just gonna go in the thing, and I just can't wait. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, we're gonna take a picture of Paris. Paris
Yeah.
fainted. We're gonna take a picture of that.
Yeah, they've already said that Ori and the Blind Forest sequel's coming, which I also think will come this year. But I do also think they're gonna show Cuphead 2. Not coming this year. It's coming later, but they're going to show Cuphead too. We already know the Forza stuff. That's just standard for them. Pete, I'm going to go against what you said. They ain't going to show nothing of Crackdown 3.
He gave me a nan.
Same here.
Yeah.
Zero.
I know there's Trick Daddy in there.
And look, and I know some smart ass people on Twitter, because I had that article came out that it rumored it was delayed to 2019, and then I followed up on it. I go, I won't be shocked if it gets canceled. And I think Aaron Greenberg actually basically came out like, no, it's not getting canceled, whatever. I don't believe you, Aaron. I will not believe that game's coming out until it is
Shots
actually
fired. Shots fired.
Give me the gunshot.
I
gotta find a gunshot soundboard here.
I said it all year. I go, that game ain't coming. I kept telling you guys that game is not coming out this year. No way. And look, here's the thing. And snark aside, I won't be snarky. Realistically, here's how I look at Crackdown 3. Okay, it's delayed until 2019. Right? You've been talking about this game. At that point, you would have been talking about this game for 5 years. When they did show it last year, it was very underwhelming. Major Nelson playing that game was a disaster. So I think no matter what they do at this point with Crackdown 3, even if it does come out, it's going to be afterthought. No one is going to take that game seriously. It is not going to be something that they're going to promote as one of their big titles. It will be, let's just get it out and be done, and that's going to be it. If it does come out, just to be honest with you, like, I think they will try and stash this in the summer of 2019 as an afterthought, and just, oh yeah, Crackdown 3, and they're going to be done with it. I don't think I think they caught lightning in a bottle with the first game, because no one was expecting it to be, as addictive as it was trying to get those orbs. Crackdown 2 was a disaster. We all agree on that. And I think they shot out of their league with Crackdown 3. I think they looked too far ahead of the potential of what it could be, and I don't think they can hit it. It's just my personal opinion on that.
Gunshots. Wow.
Matt, I'm very surprised. Well, actually, speaking about Crackdown, here's the reason why, Pete, they're not going to show Crackdown at the press conference. And I mentioned this to actually Paris when it was announced that it got delayed. They trying to get rid of that right away, that news, because I think the stuff that they have planned for E3 is going to outshine the news, and let the negative stuff go out now.
Yep.
Because if they never mention that, let's say Microsoft never mentioned that the game got delayed, it's going to be top news of E3. They didn't show Crackdown, what's going on. So let the news out now, and let's focus on the new announcements now. So I think that was a very smart way for them to do that. Now, a game that I'm very surprised you guys didn't even mention, but I
wasn't done. So how do you know I wasn't going to mention it?
It sounded you were done.
I just want to put that out there. I wasn't done.
All right.
Okay.
All right. So go.
Okay.
Go. All right.
Okay. Here we go. So, yes, they're going to show Fable. They're going to show Perfect Dark as far as the roadmap goes. That, it's in production, coming soon, more information later, blah, blah, blah. I think they're going to showcase the Santa Monica studio, just that it exists, and that, they're expecting big things out of it. New IPs will come out of it. I think that will be the other big focus of what they're going to show. Obviously, they're going to come up. Cyberpunk 2077 is going to be on stage. That is the first time we will see Cyberpunk 2077 in action, will be at the Xbox press conference. And I think beyond that, obviously, like Pete mentioned below, I think they're going to double down on some of their indie support. They're going to show, again, Miss Leo, Game Pass 2.0. What Game Pass 2.0 is, I don't know exactly yet, but they're going to make it even more enticing for people to want to sign up for Game Pass, in my personal opinion. And I think that'll be a very smart thing for them to do. And it's all about the games for them right now. They have to show that roadmap. I think we will hear and see about games that may not even come out until the next damn Xbox. It may be that far in the future because they got to show that this is what we got in the lab right now cooking, so let people know that we can't give it to you today, but here's what we're working on to eventually get there.
And one thing
So,
I didn't
okay.
even mention would be PUBG 1.0 finally coming to the Xbox One.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think that was also
can
big,
I throw something else in there on
Go in.
PUBG?
Let's go.
Yeah, go ahead.
Shots fired.
Miss Leo.
I have a crazy prediction, but go ahead.
I think PUBG shows up on Sony's stage.
Gunshot.
I think it does.
I don't think so.
I
don't
think
so.
they're
But
going to
go ahead.
announce that PUBG is going to come to PlayStation.
I don't think so. I don't think so. But go ahead. Go ahead. That's it. You good?
I don't like how you
100%?
just dismiss what I said.
I said it's not gonna happen. I don't see that happening.
Yeah.
I don't see that happening.
I don't like
are
your
you done?
tone. I don't.
Because I have a crazy.
Of course
prediction.
you do. Go ahead. I'm listening.
Actually,
Let
and
him
I'm gonna
dream.
let everybody know this. That day at the Microsoft press conference, I am gonna be wearing a "Let Me Dream" shirt on that day because let me dream. That's all I have to say. But anyways, so here's a game that I'm very surprised that you guys didn't even mention. I think they're gonna show the Division 2 at the Microsoft press conference. They have a marketing deal, Ubisoft, with Xbox. I think the first game was also Xbox
Of course they
exclusive
are.
marketing, right? For the first one. So they're going to show that.
Okay,
Now,
okay.
here's-
I'm gonna pause
here's the
you
thing, though.
because you made it sound like this was some revolutionary announcement.
No.
Stevie Wonder
That's
saw
not the
that they were
crazy-
going to put a Division 2 on that stage.
But that's not the crazy. That's not the crazy prediction. You guys didn't even know my crazy prediction because I haven't mentioned it at all. But here's the thing. This is gonna sound crazy, but I think this will be the only way that Xbox will be different than the other consoles. So here's the thing. Pete and Paris, they play PC all the time, right?
we
You guys
go.
play Steam. You guys play a lot of the
always
Xbox
bringing
games.
this
And
up.
you don't, but wait, can I talk, Paris? You gotta let me talk, man. So I think they are going to announce.
I'm laughing before you even say it. I know it's so ridiculous. I already know.
All right.
I know it is.
I gotta make sure my
I
drinks
think-
are far
Yo.
away for this because I don't want to spit it out on camera.
All right. No. But honestly, I think that Xbox Live is going. The Xbox Live Silver, the free version, you're allowed to play online for free, but to get the premium stuff, you have to get Gold and Game Pass and all that stuff. But I think Xbox Live Silver online for free, similar to PC gamers, they will add that to Xbox if they really want to promote crossplay.
Okay,
What, Paris? Now?
wait. Let's back up.
What?
Let's back up.
Why not?
So what are you
Why
saying?
not?
So you're saying, all right, so you're saying I could go on Xbox Live for free to do multiplayer games. But if I want any
Yeah.
kind of premium DLC pack,
Gold
multiplayer,
edition,
I have to go to Gold. That is a disaster. You have lost
Why
your
not?
mind. They're not doing
Why
that.
not?
They're
Why
not doing that.
Why not?
You know how
but I
much,
think
much
there will be-
revenue
I
they would
think-
actually lose as a result because the only way you can play multiplayer is by paying that paywall.
Exactly. Same
Why
as
would
on PlayStation.
Why would Microsoft say, you know what,
Nah.
we don't need this money, let everybody play?
Look, the reason why I'm saying this is because they are going to announce something that is going to push Game Pass, and I think
How does that push
I
Game
think
Pass?
that will.
Game Pass is
Hey,
the payment.
Because
let's
if
piss,
they announce-
let's
if
piss
they- look,
everyone
look,
off
look,
that's been
But
paying for
hold on.
Xbox Live Gold for the past 15 years, and that's go. Oh, now
Yeah,
let's go buy
but-
Game Pass. Yeah, that's a great idea.
I don't know. I think that
They're
would
not
be.
doing
I don't know. Me personally, I think that would be cool because, yo, you don't need Xbox Live on your PC. Why they can't do that with consoles?
Go back in reverse and play.
Oh yeah,
You can't do that.
Pete, get the time stone. We gotta walk this one back.
Hey, that's my let me dream / a little bit prediction. That's just me.
Oh
But anyways, I think they're also gonna announce a lot of the. Well, whatever. You guys are freaking idiots. But I think they are going to bring back a lot of the old IPs. I said it, Jet Set Radio. I think they're going to bring something with Sega. I don't know what it is. I personally think it might be Jet Set Radio. I think.
Okay.
Surprise the crowd.
Okay. I know. We're gonna Deadpool it and break the fourth wall for just a second. Even the Twitch chat just goes. This one dude, he was like, he lost me on this one. I always try to go along with his crazy, but not this time.
Hey! Let me dream. Let me have fun. Why can't I say that? So it has to be the typical, Halo, Gears, and all that stuff. You want me to predict that? Let me dream, and I'll say what I want to see, yo.
My chest hurts.
Guys, let me dream. Yes, let me dream.
I have a dream.
Let me dream. Dream.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star.
But here's the thing. It's not crazy when it's Xbox Live free on PC, but when I mention a console, everybody's going, no, hell no, it's not going to happen.
Here's the difference. They have no choice on PC because PC gamers will instantly reject you trying to tell them, oh, you got to pay on this. Xbox Play Anywhere is to supplement what they do on the console. They have established this business model since 2002, and they've not wavered.
2002, yeah.
They're not. So now, hey, just throw it all away.
No, but
you're not doing that.
But wait. But guys, this is just my prediction. This is not the Paris and Pete prediction. This is my prediction. What I would love to see, and I think that would be crazy. But
he's like Doctor Strange. He's sitting there, 14,605 different realities.
No, but
and only one shows Microsoft doing it.
Pete, Danny looked over at us. He goes, "This was the only way.
This is the end game. We're looking at the end game, Paris."
Oh my
god! Just let me live. Let me dream, man. That's all, man, dude. It's like, hey, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. At least it's a crazy prediction. I don't want to say the same thing that me and Paris been saying.
Spoiler alert. Yeah. We used the time stone like Doctor Strange and went into the future. Your ass is wrong. Because that is not happening.
Yo, there's only one reality in the future where that happens.
Yo, that'll be classic though. Oh my god. But yeah, they're gonna announce, the new IPs. I think they're gonna show a lot of new indie games. Yeah, I know P mentioned below, but we're gonna see a lot of new stuff that is only gonna be exclusive to the console, or maybe like time exclusive. We might see that. They'll show Anthem. They show a couple things there. I think Paris is right, man. But that's the show. The new Fallout game there. I think that would be cool. Bring back some old IPs that they haven't used in a long time, man. Mechasaw and all these other games that Crimson Skies. They could easily announce new games for this generation from the old IPs. I could see that happening. So, and yeah, that's my crazy prediction, man. I know everybody on Twitter and Discord is going to be calling me out, but you know what? I don't care. It's my prediction. Yeah, see, Paris and P are quiet. They don't care.
Because we needed a moment of silence for that crazy ass prediction, so we just kind of let it lay there for a minute. No, here's the thing. Yeah. Okay, crazy Xbox Live thing aside, kind of what we've all been saying, in my opinion, is just what they need to do to get people excited about the Xbox platform again. I think most people have come to the realization they're not going to have that much this holiday. I don't think. Like I said, maybe they could squeeze in a surprise Gears game this year. I'm actually happy that Halo's not coming this year. Well, by the way, that Master Chief Collection remake, they'll talk about that as well, that them fixing it, and the enhancements and all that. And then they'll probably put a date on that for end of the year that officially it'll be out, for people to use, which can be kind of a small buffer for Halo. Oh, I'll add this in. If Halo 6 is next year, they will announce some type of multiplayer beta for Halo 6, maybe similar to Halo 5 to come at the end of the year, early 2019, for people to get in on the multiplayer for whatever Halo 6 is going to be. But I'm actually happy that Halo 6 is looking like 2019 because it shows that 343 actually went back to the drawing board and they're trying to fix Halo and make it the game that we all wanted Halo 5 to be, in my opinion. So that I'm excited for. So, like I said, they're the great unknown, in my opinion. I'm just going to be so like we're literally 1 week away. Like this time next week, we're gonna all be in LA, and we're gonna be doing some secrets, and then we're gonna go to Xbox, and I'm gonna be genuinely excited to be sitting there to see what they're gonna show. Really am.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I think this is all for fun, man. I'm excited.
But let me say this.
Yeah.
If they poop the bed, I will be the first one to rip their ass at the end of it. I promise you that, and I don't think they will. But if it's Pete's vision of them talking about freaking two things and then walk off the stage,
cracked out.
Oh my God.
Disaster.
That would be a disaster. But I don't think it will. I think they're smart enough to realize that this might be one of their last opportunities with the Xbox One to actually grab some market share before they have to transition to the next generation and try it again. So I think they'll be fine. I really do.
Do you think that HoloLens has gotten to the point that it warrants more discussion at E3 on the main stage?
I hope that isn't a part of it. Let me rephrase it. I hope it is, but I hope they don't use that stage to promote it at this point. I think they need to focus on actual games on Xbox and not, because everyone's going to look at HoloLens like Kinect.
Gimmick. It's a gimmick.
Yeah. So I don't think this, I think talk about that at a GDC. Talk about that at the Windows, what is it? The Windows Developer Conference? I forget what it's called. I forget what they call that. Do that there. Don't do that here. Focus this all on the games,
Games. No hardware. Yeah. Yeah. I think that they could easily show stuff behind closed doors, but not on stage, man.
No.
Not on stage. I think it will be a disaster, in my opinion, man. Focus on, this is not even about new controllers or hardware. This presentation, this press conference is all about the games. Show us that everything else, like the Xbox Live announcements, something like that, or the hardware, new controllers, that should be behind closed doors. Behind closed doors. So, all right, so we're gonna wrap it up. Wow, it's been a good hour and a half almost, man. So Paris,
Can I say one last thing before we get out of here?
Yes. Yeah.
So this will be my last opportunity before E3. Next time you guys hear us hear me anyways, I'll be at E3. So I just want to say this. I have an appointment on Wednesday night at 6 p.m. to go see whatever CD Projekt Red is working on, and I'm doing a wink, wink, right? Danny and I already talked about this, Pete. I don't even think you know this. After said meeting, we getting together and doing a damn podcast about that, because y'all will have already seen what it is. I won't, and I don't want y'all to tell me nothing. I'm going in there as blind as I possibly can.
I say we spoil it.
Okay. Oh, there we go. Nah. Spoiler Pete. Nah. I want us to be surprised at the same time.
But I mean, Cyberpunk 2077 is just I gotta know. I gotta know if it's gonna live up to what I've built in my head on what it's gonna be. So I'm gonna be very excited for that one for sure.
Yeah. We have a lot of cool stuff.
If I'm not mistaken,
we have a lot of cool stuff.
Danny, yours is at 2. I'm at 3, and then yours is at 6 o'clock.
Oh, are we all Wednesday?
Yeah, we're all Wednesday.
Oh, then that's perfect. You can't spoil it, because I just won't answer your call. And then by the time I do, I've already seen
all the chats.
Perfect. Yeah, perfect.
And honestly, Paris, make sure to stay away from social media too, man.
Oh, I will.
If you really want to be surprised. Yeah.
Because dude, I don't know nothing. Not nothing.
Zero. But I'll definitely will. I'm not going to say anything. I want Paris to be surprised. All right, so head over to gamertagradio.com. Post your comments and feedback. Also, you can share this content to your friends, family members. Also, check us out, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, TuneIn Radio, and other podcast directories. Make sure to subscribe. If you get the chance to post a review, it help us out. We'll climb the top of the charts every time there's like a new review. So that would be cool, man. And also, Discord. Make sure to join Discord, because I'm telling you, it's going to be super, super active during the week of E3. Pete, what's the URL of Discord so people could join our community and chat with other GTR community members?
Discord.gg/GTR.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Anything else, Pete, before we wrap it up?
No, that's it. Like we were saying, it's like we said at the beginning of the show. We're slowly hey, this time next week, you and I will already, we'll have already joined up Paris. We land Saturday afternoon. We've already got a couple of things already in the works for Saturday evening. Sunday is just going to get started with a massive explosion of content and information. That's when we go like LeBron. We just ball out on content. So everybody, make sure you got those notifications on, whether it's, Apple Podcasts or, all the other podcast directories. Stay tuned. We've got some crazy things lined up for you guys and girls.
Yep. And some podcast exclusive content that you're not going to find anywhere else. Paris, anything else? You good?
Yeah, he's drinking his water.
Drinking water. Yeah. Anything else?
No, I think that's it.
All right, so we're going to wrap it up. Until next time, we're out. Peace.
Thanks for listening to Gamertag Radio. Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Thank you for listening to Gamertag Radio. If you'd like to donate and help us out for future events and more coverage and also better audio equipment, head over to donate.gamertagradio.com. That's donate.gamertagradio.com. Thank you.